Some things should be said.
Or shouldn't.
Oh, it's on.
With Juan
and Sean. Okay, I might have to get a new bottle opener. This one's not doing too well, but
yeah, it seems like you kind of struggled there for a bit.
But
and what kind of beer was that you're trying to crack open?
It is Kirkland Signature from Costco.
Wait a minute.
Brewed India Pale Ale.
Are you telling me Costco has its own brand beer?
Yeah, that's what we're holding right now.
OMG. And it's a dark roast.
Yes.
Imported malt.
They have 4 beers all in the same box. Cheapest beer there, of course. 24 beers for, or I don't know, it was like 80 cents a bottle.
Wow, and it says here, this ale is characterized by its rich color and nutty brown hues. 8 types of specialty malts used in this beer produce flavors of almond, walnut, and molasses. It's like Simple Rick for simple life.
And simply put, welcome to episode number 8 of Oh, It's On!
With Juan
and Sean. And what Sean loves is some pro wrestling.
Wait. You love pro wrestling?
It's honestly, it's harder to find pro wrestling nowadays, but I still love pro wrestling. I don't consider a lot of what WWE and like AEW, I don't consider them as like pro wrestling companies. They do pro wrestling stuff, but they're not pro wrestling.
Now let's go back. Was WWF pro wrestling?
Not really. They're the ones that kind of started some of this goofiness, but it started the showmanship really like big time. It brought the big time out. The characters. Well, it's like in the territory days, there were a lot of wrestlers that were really entertaining, and they were entertaining. They could talk, they could wrestle. WWE focused more on just the entertainment part and got away a little bit from the wrestling and got away a little bit from the character. Well, their whole thing, okay, I sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about, but to answer your question, kind of.
Okay.
So Juan here had never been to a wrestling match until he met me, and I would like to know what Juan's thoughts on pro wrestling was for his whole life before he went to his first wrestling event.
Oh man, it's like God. I started watching it when I was a freaking young little lad. Started with WWF. Watching Hogan and Macho Man and who's the other one? Ultimate Warrior and all that. They kind of brought in that, good guys versus bad guys. Who would win?
Yeah,
and especially during all that freaking, one of my favorite ones too was Jim Hacksaw.
Hacksaw Jim.
There you go. Because you're like, or something. Oh! There you go.
Yeah, with his big old thumb.
You reminded me of that retard from the Goonies. Just like that.
Oh.
And so, watching it looked fun. But man, the first time I went there, I ain't gonna lie.
No, don't talk about. So you were a kid, and you watched it, and you were intrigued. As you got older. You got, let's say, high school years. Were you still watching then, or did you get away?
I was watching some, but it wasn't like always like, hey, it's on, got to watch it.
So you knew like Stone Cold and The Rock.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then so later on in your young adult life, like in your 20s.
Because who's the guy with Socko?
Oh, you know Socko?
Of course.
Mankind.
There you go.
Mick Foley, yeah. Did my sock on my microphone remind you of that?
Exactly.
So you go off, you grow up, say before you moved to Vegas, the few years before you moved to Vegas, were you watching wrestling at all then?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so he moves to Vegas. He's known me for a couple years, and I finally convinced him, hey, let's go to a pro wrestling show. And he was like, okay, let's do it. Because Juan's usually down for anything, unless it's gay bars.
Exactly.
He's like Frank. You got to watch his back or they might penetrate him from behind. So everybody I've ever taken to a wrestling show always ends up having a great time. Part of that might be because I have them drink a little bit. But part of what makes wrestling so enjoyable is you have to have that suspension of disbelief. You have to give up your reasoning for a second. And people are like, well, that's not a good reason to enjoy something. And I say, well, you watch movies, you watch television, you have to suspend your disbelief for all of that too. So why is it any different for pro wrestling? And it's even better when it's done right because it's right in front of you. And you can interact with it. And I think that's what Juan really enjoyed.
It is because, like you were saying, it's like you really have to. It's a great way to escape reality and be in one of those like gladiatorial kind of arenas, where you're chanting. It's like I don't know if anybody's ever been to those what is it like those those Knights of the Tournaments or whatever that is with the jousting. The
like at the Excalibur?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell
medieval times.
Yeah, kind of like the medieval times. You're there in that time, in that era. So everything else, just doesn't exist anymore. So you're just like there at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun of it because you see people cheering, it's just like the excitement is there. And you get to meet all these different type of characters.
Yeah.
And
do you even remember the first one I took you to? The name of it?
God, what was it? PPW?
No. This was before PPW. It was GFW. You were pretty drunk, so you probably don't remember. It was called Global Force Wrestling. It was created by Jeff Jarrett. It was around for a little bit. It didn't last for very long. He tried to get a little shady with it, and that's what I think brought its downfall. But I was a member of what is in Vegas. We have this thing called house seats, and for like $150 a year, you can get up to 4 tickets every single day of the year to any event they have listed. And it was amazing to me how many times they had pro wrestling on there. It kind of was amazing because Vegas is like the worst wrestling city I've ever been in. So them having empty seats that they need to fill is not that surprising. But we got these seats. It was at the Orleans. And yeah, that was the first one you went to. We were front row, remember? You, me, and Shay. And I went up to the, what are they called? The box office?
Yeah.
What's it called there, though?
Yeah, the box office where you get like you pick up your tickets or you pay
Will Call.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking of. So we went up to Will Call. I slipped them, I think, $10. And they disappeared for a minute, and they brought out 3 ringside seats for us. And I was like, oh, I didn't ask, but I wanted to ask if that was because I tipped them. But you don't ask that because that's weird. Then you're putting them in a weird situation.
Exactly.
So we get to the front row. Juan's already kind of yelling because he's had too much to drink. And do you remember anything from that show?
Yeah, I remember losing my voice.
Yeah.
Because after, I guess, the second match, I was like, hey, I need a beer.
Yeah. Juan was probably the loudest one there, and I'm surprised they didn't kick us out right away. But do you remember the one character that you yelled at the most?
Was it Cherry Boy or?
It's close.
God. Yeah, okay, who was it?
Lollipop Guild. It was Joey Ryan, and he came out with a lollipop because that was his gimmick. And you just, once the music stopped, you just started yelling, "Lollipop Guild!" And people around us are like, what is he yelling at? Well, like, this was in the Orleans Arena. We had front row seats, but the whole floor section wasn't even where near filled, and there were just random seats like after the floor.
Yeah.
There were like not many people there. I was just like, they should have not had this here. I mean, it had some big hype, and I think they were able to get it because of the hype, but Vegas, like I said, is like the worst wrestling town in the country that I know of. So you had your first wrestling experience there. You had a good time. And I found out about this company called PPW, Paragon Pro Wrestling. What do you remember from Paragon Pro Wrestling days?
God, I remember that they always held it at, what was that? What casino was it? The one way the hell out there.
Sam's Town.
There you go. And I remember there because there was like that 1 2 3 kid was there.
No, 1 2 3 kid was not there.
Or some scrawny kid. Or wait, because he had like
Anthony Green.
There you go.
It's all good.
There you go. And then Because it was funny. Because what I remember, it's like they actually had like a section for just like for like the little kids.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's like, I guess what also like made me feel like a little kid again was when like, you know, I guess like their favorite little hero was getting his butt kicked and they all start chanting his name. Then he starts winning and they're all just, all you see all these little kids just jumping up and down, just screaming and cheering, dude. That was like the funnest part about it. You know, it was like, that's how I felt when I was like a little kid.
Yeah.
Watching wrestling. It was like, no, I don't want to go to church. This guy, Jim Hacksaw's getting his ass kicked. No.
I can see little Juan just fighting with his mom. No. Jim Hacksaw's on TV.
God can
Hacksaw
wait.
Jim.
God can wait.
God's here all the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was that little girl and she was running back and forth from the kids section to like where her parents were sitting behind us. And you and Zane and I were there.
Is that where we're like kind of like making a bet, see if she tripped?
Yeah, this little girl. So they had the cables that were like lined up on the floor. And we only did this like between matches because that's when this girl was running out there. This little girl's like happy as can be, just running from her parents to her friends. But Juan and Zane especially, they were like, that little girl's gonna eat it. And it was so funny because that's what I love about pro wrestling is that it's not just the wrestlers that are to the show. You can also be entertained by the crowd, and the crowd sometimes does a little wild. But like these moments when there's the little downtimes or intermissions, the crowd can always be entertaining as well.
Yep.
Do you remember Darren Corbin?
Yeah.
What was he? Let's see if you remember. Juan was drinking a lot when we went to these things.
Okay, he wasn't the guy who was living under the bridge.
Yeah, that was him.
That's him? Okay.
Yeah. He lived under the bridge at 215 in Sahara Avenue.
That's right, because he had a shopping cart with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing I like PPW was great because it wasn't too over the top, but it was definitely getting there. And they went out of business years ago, and it could have been one of those things where they probably would have went over the top, but it was good. It was a good show. Like, I took a friend to Paragon Pro Wrestling a few times. Did you ever go to Freak Show Wrestling? I don't think I ever took you to Freak Show Wrestling.
Is that the one where we had that one Tumaguchi dressed like a girl?
Yeah. Oh, you were there.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So like that is like off the wall.
Yeah. If you're a guy and dressed like a girl, you're gay.
Jeez. But there was my friend though. He was like, he thought it was kind of funny, but he liked Paragon Pro Wrestling better because you could get into it more. Like, especially after you go and see it a few times and you know what's going on. You know who are the good guys, who are the bad guys, why everybody's mad at each other. Because at first, you're always like, what's going on?
Yeah, because there was this one guy everybody loved too. Was that kind of like that, what is it, low budget Undertaker? Gangrene or something? Well, Sean just spit out his beer.
Almost. Gangrel.
Gangrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Low budget Undertaker.
Yeah, he had like
Gangrel.
little fangs and everything, like a little hat, like a deadbeat vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like old too.
Yeah.
He
He was around during like when you were watching wrestling, or it was high school. If you weren't watching a lot, then you probably don't know him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gangrel was there. Yeah, PPW was
Yeah,
great.
I think I took a picture with him, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, where is that picture? I got
God,
these
I don't
pictures
know. I
somewhere.
was so wasted too. I was done.
Yeah, because you were just like, "Hey, can you come take a picture?" And he's like, "Sure." He just came over. I was like, "That was easy." Because with all of the WWE, all these other companies, you have to pay at least. You have to buy a VIP ticket to get that.
Yeah.
And you were just like, "Hey." And then he was like, "What?" And you went a picture. You went, "Okay." Yeah, because it was at the end of the show. I remember that. And unfortunately, PPW is no more. They posted a few times a few years ago, "Hey, things are in the works," and then things never came to. So I remember. I don't know if you remember this, but my most memorable moment. Well, no, remember that giant sign we took
Yes. I think we took 2 of them, didn't we?
Yeah, we took a couple.
Uh-huh.
But there was that one when Tony was there with us.
Yeah.
We gotta get Tony Foreign on the podcast with his car. But yeah, and we held up this sign. Caleb Conley, who's actually in the NWA right now, which is probably my favorite company right now. He's wrestling there now. But when he was a bad guy in PPW. We took a sign that was like 4 poster boards long, and we didn't show anybody the signs. I had it folded up.
Yeah.
And then his music hits, and I'm like, the sign's coming out, boys. Because it was you, me, Tony, and Zane, or Mike maybe. And we all held up the pictures, or the sign.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because nobody at that point was paying attention to him. Nobody was paying attention to anything. He even came out and was looking at our sign half the time.
Yeah, he stopped and he's like staring at it.
Yeah. And if you go on Fight TV, I don't know if they're still there, but when he comes out in that episode, nobody's looking at him. They're all trying to read our sign. And the sign said, "This is how much we hate Caleb Conley." And Mike actually, I don't think it was that night. It was the last time. So Mike, nobody knows who Mike is. I used to work with him. He was like, I talked him into going, and then he loved it too. But we were standing in line to go in, and Caleb Conley's merch booth was right by us. And Mike's like just looking down at everything. He goes, I hate Caleb Conley just because he had so much merch there. And Caleb Conley was standing right there. And Mike had no idea. And I just I bit my tongue and I rolled my eyes. And we went in and I was like, dude, you said you hated that guy and he was right there. And he's like, no way. So that became the thing. That's why we made the signs. And it's just like nowhere else can can you have those kinds of stories.
Now, like let's just in regular TV pro wrestling there, when they have it here, are you able to take signs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they encourage it big time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never been to a pro wrestling event. Well, WWE will sometimes confiscate signs.
Why?
Because when they have a storyline they're trying to develop, if you put up signs or make signs that are anti that storyline, like Roman Reigns is the big one. Roman Reigns, everybody hated him. WWE was trying to make him like the new The Rock or something,
mm-hmm.
the new John Cena essentially, and people hated him because he was being forced on us. And people would take signs like Roman Reigns sucks, Roman Reigns trash, and they would do their best to take those signs out of the crowd before anything happened. But of course, if you write "you're gay" on a sign, they're going to take that down.
Well, yeah, especially today.
Yeah.
Can't tell a guy he's gay, not meaning he's gay, but he's acting gay.
There's I had a sign taken away from me.
Really?
It wasn't. I understood it though, because in Jacksonville, Florida, I went down there to go to a Raw, and I won ringside tickets while I was down there from a radio show. So I said, hey, do you have anything I can hold up for you? Because I'm here because of you. And they gave me a banner. And then I went in there with the banner, and some security guy said, you can't hold that up. I was like, okay. I wasn't going to fight it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was ringside. I'll do whatever they tell me to. So is there anything else from your pro wrestling events that you've been to? You haven't been to one in a while.
God, it's been like forever now.
Ring of Honor was just in town last week. But I didn't think about it. I just figured they canceled it because of coronavirus.
Yeah, probably. Well, everything's canceled out here now because of that stupid virus.
WrestleMania's it's not canceled. They're putting it on, but it's going to be to an empty arena.
Gee.
Yeah, it's going to be weird. Yeah. So anything else, Juan? What would you suggest to people that are thinking, I don't really want to go, but my friend is pressuring me?
You should go. You should go because you'll have a great time. Because first of all, they have alcohol. They have food. All right. You could banter. You could scream at these guys. You can make them feel like trash, or you can hype them up. That's what's great about it.
It's like an interactive experience.
Exactly. You yell at them, they'll yell at you back, and then you could post it. It's like, he talked to me.
That's what. Oh my gosh! Last time Zane and I went, we went to a Ring of Honor, and I don't know why Silas Young, this guy comes out, he comes right over to me, and for whatever reason, he just says, "I don't like you. I would never hang out with you." And like, just straight up. I don't know what I did to provoke it. I was being a little rambunctious that night, but because of Flip Gordon. Flip Gordon's in the military, so I call him an imperialist pig. And and I wouldn't do that if he didn't post it on Twitter. So to me, it's part of his wrestling gimmick.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just came up and I was just so dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. And Zane's dying laughing because he's like, the only thing I can think of is he's from Wisconsin, I think, and he must be like a Green Bay Packers fan. And I was wearing a Detroit or Denver Broncos jersey. I don't remember why, but I was wearing a Broncos jersey. So yeah, Juan.
So all I got to say, if you guys get a chance to go watch one of those shows live. It's so much more entertaining. It's really fun.
And if you go to an indie show, you can get close seats for cheap.
Yeah.
Like indie show, anything below Ring of Honor, like $15, $10 for 3 hours or 4 hours of entertainment, and go and have a good time. So to that end, if you want us to talk more about wrestling, or if you want us to talk about anything you want us to talk about, you can go to Twitter or Facebook at OIOPod. Send us an email at ohitsonpod@gmail.com. Or what can they do on YouTube, Juan?
I drew a blank. Take over.
You can comment on the video. What? Have you already had too much to drink?
No, I still had wrestling on my mind.
Okay. Well, we'll go and maybe we'll podcast it while we're there next time.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Hopefully, if we get huge on here, they'll just let us backstage and we can interview wrestlers.
Exactly. That'd be even great.
All right. Until next time, Juan.
It's like I say with the show, it's God, I drew a blank. Take over.